Okay, today we're going to talk about problem solving. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable and take a deep breath. Let's take a couple of deep breaths and then we'll start with the meditation. And I'll implant into your subconscious. We're going to have a little conversation with your subconscious. We're going to talk about problem solving today. Let's get started. All right, take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale. All right, one more deep breath in. Exhale. Good. Go ahead and close your eyes. And let's talk about problem solving. Make yourself comfortable and relax as I have a conversation with your subconscious mind. And let's go ahead and solve some problems. Sometimes, if you're going around in circles over something, it really helps to have a good gimmick to break that cycle. You know, hypnosis, it's an ideal state to be in when you're doing this kind of problem solving. And the reason is, in hypnosis, you don't take yourself seriously. You can just relax and just be yourself. You've already taken yourself one step away from this painful situation. And that in itself is helpful. So it's easy to understand why and how so many approaches to problem solving have been devised that use hypnosis as a framework. As always, in hypnosis, the best of these are just very simple. Certainly, as I continue speaking to your unconscious mind, the one I'm going to describe today is very simple indeed, almost like a kindergarten game. And that is a main advantage. Because it is so simple, it can be adapted to suit any problem. And also because it's so simple, you don't have to waste any energy on learning the technique. Just direct your energy towards using it. To make it more interesting for you, let yourself think of some minor problem now in your day-to-day life. Some little thing that you just wish that you could handle better than you do today. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. Save that big, important problem till you have a little more experience and we can work on it next time. For now, until you have more experience, just a little aggregating problem that you would dearly like to be able to handle more comfortably. Then as I describe this technique, you can, only as fast as you're ready to do so, only as fast as your unconscious mind is ready to process the situation, only that quickly, you can get to working on understanding of it and will be even more helpful to you. The first thing you do when using this particular technique is to allow the problem to separate out into all of its component parts. Break it apart. Let your unconscious mind produce whatever image is perfect for you now. You know, we often think of a problem as being just one thing, but it never, ever is. It's always many things, many aspects, many different points of view, all contributing from all kinds of things. Some are trivial, some are not trivial, and all of these components merge to create a situation we can think of as a problem. The first thing to do is to let them all separate out again, and soon you will find, such as now, that maybe they can be separated into 3 main groups. So in your mind's eye, visualize 3 boxes. And the first box, that first box is labeled Other. From other people. That's it. Just write the word from other people on the first box. And into that first box, put all parts of the problem that are brought to it by other people. Of course, it's often a temptation for us to think that the whole problem is brought by other people, but we know that's not true. It is true, however, that usually there are some parts of the problem that are brought to it by other people. And these are the parts that are put into the first box. Now, go ahead and set that box aside to a different part of your mind's eye, and imagine the second box is labeled Facts. F-A-C-T-S. Facts. Go ahead and write facts on the second box. Now, and into that box, you can put the things that are simply facts. For instance, if there's a deadline to meet, then the date of the deadline will go in the second box. Perhaps also the fact that there is a deadline is a fact that belongs in this box. But there may be something about the person who set the deadline that needs to go into the first box. And there may be something about one's reaction to the deadline that needs to go into the third box, which of course is the box that we have for those parts of the problem we bring to ourselves, that you bring to yourself. So in your mind, go ahead and now label the third box with your own name. Write your own name onto the third box and put all parts of the problem that you bring to it there. Usually these have to do with a reaction, our own reaction to things: fear, pain, pride, anger, past experiences that only you know, hopes and needs and expectation. All those things we talked about before, as well as the things that are special for you in this particular situation. They all go in the third box now. In fact, now, when you have all parts of the problem separated out, and they're all in their appropriate box, you take the first box, that was the one labeled Other People, from other people, and you can throw that box away. Imagine a giant trash can and throw that box away now. You don't need it. You throw it way into the distance, into that trash box, as far as you can possibly throw it, because we cannot change other people. Oh, they may change, of course, but they will change because of their needs and their own motivations, not because of our demands, nor to meet our requirements. Don't waste your time and energy, therefore, on those parts of the problem that are brought by other people. Throw that box away now. After that, take that second box, the one you labeled Facts. You throw that away too, even farther into a trash can, farther away into the distance than the first one, because you cannot change facts. The situation may change, but that's different. Then you have a new set of facts. For now, there are facts in the situation that cannot be changed, and you need to throw that box away now. So if you take a look at our little problem now, you'll find it has a different configuration. For one thing, it's smaller because you've just thrown 2 big chunks away into trash cans far, far away. And for another, those parts that are left are the parts that you have some chance of doing something about. You know yourself. And when you have some chance of doing something, that's a very different feeling than being in a situation in which you feel helpless. And so now, that leads us back to the third box. Here, you may wish to separate things out a little further. For instance, there may be some parts of the problem that you bring to it that you truly cannot change. One's age might be such a factor. If it were important in a situation, then, or something that's already happened, but some people put these into the facts box. You may put them into the third box because they're personal to you. It's a personal choice. If there are some parts of the problem that you bring to it, but that you truly cannot change, you couldn't change them no matter how much you wanted to. Or even if you wanted to, put those into a separate little box and send them winging after the first 2 boxes. Because remember, you're going to conserve your time, your energy, and your resources for much more useful purposes than wasting time, wasting them away on things you cannot change. Secondly, and this is very important, there may be some parts of the problem that you bring to it that for some reason, at this time, you don't want to change. It doesn't even matter what the reasons are, or how other people might label them. Some people do label things they might label something as selfish or trivial, for instance. These are just labels that belong to other people. That's the sort of thing that can go into the very, very first box and get thrown away immediately now. It matters only that you recognize them. This is the group that get put away in a different place somewhere, accessible, where you can take them out and reassess them whenever it is appropriate for you. And so, finally, you're left with a very few parts of the problem, maybe just 1 or 2 that you bring to it, and that you can and are willing to change. This is where constructive problem solving always begins. Let yourself find yourself and perceive some such small part of the problem, just some small little thing, some minor modification that you might make, some minor modification that you might make, for instance, or something that you might begin, or perhaps begin stopping. And you know, at this stage, the smaller the better. As you have found it, and made your commitment to that very first small change, then you have begun the resolution of your problems in one day soon. Very, very, very soon. You'll be surprised, and you'll remember this moment when you're surprised. And you'll find yourself thinking of this little situation, whether it's tomorrow, a week from now, or sometime in the future. You'll say to yourself, well, for goodness sakes, that's not a problem at all anymore. That's just a situation that I manage very, very well. And so you will manage it very, very well. As your subconscious will now find a way to start thinking of what change it will make to solve your problem now. So go ahead and only as fast as you're able to consciously listen and follow my voice. I will now count to 5, and at 5 you will come back to the present moment, refreshed and full of energy. 1, only as fast as your unconscious is willing to let you return to the present. 2, and as your unconscious mind slowly starts coming back. 3, notice the feeling in your arms, the feeling in your feet. 2, and the feeling. 1, and only as fast as you're able to, notice that 4. I brought you back in time only to bring you back to the present. 5, now you're back wide awake. Unbeknownst to you, whatever just transpired, whether it makes sense or not, doesn't matter. Go ahead and take a deep breath again. Inhale. And welcome back. You notice your problem is no longer a problem. And just go ahead and wait and see what comes up for you in the future that may solve your problem going forward. As thank you for following my voice. And let me know when that problem disappears.